Good afternoon. This is John Szymanski with some breaking news to share with you right now. I don't normally get involved in all of the breaking news and news headlines, as you can get those from the multitude of news sources out there, be it they all have a particular slant or bias, just as I do, just as everyone does. I try to be fact based and focus in mostly on the facts at hand. That's why I tend to look at things more from a historical perspective and look at it after the fact when we have more research coming out. Because while it's happening, most of the information is not available to people. It's only after the fact, really, where historians get involved to look at things in the past and then we can recreate what occurred in the various different biases that may be out there. But this is some breaking news. I want to get to the point. There is, and I just read this online. I'm normally not doing a Saturday podcast, but I felt this was important that I read possible news that Ung Jung Il, and I'm just pulling it back up right now. Ung Jung Il allegedly may have passed away. Um, so you're hearing it here. Probably one of the first people to report this. Again, I'm not confirming whether it's accurate or not because the news report said it was based on a Hong Kong report that said people close to the situation stated this was the case. As you know, he's been out of the picture for several weeks, allegedly had some surgery, and I speculated that this may have occurred, but I really didn't interject my speculation onto this because we don't know. It's too soon to tell. Even right now, we still don't know 100%. Again, information coming out of that region sometimes may or may not be accurate. But in my opinion, I believe this is the case, or nonetheless, he's out of the picture as far as leading, at least any time in the near future, because as you know, he's been out of the picture for the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks or more. And you would think with all that's going on, he would definitely be on the forefront of this whole conflict, most likely trying to capitalize off the weakness of America at the moment. So I guess so. Is this a good or a bad thing? I don't know. You can leave me some comments, maybe give me a video response back. Let me know what your opinion is. It could go a couple different ways because what we have here is a situation where, just like his father before him, people speculated, well, when the son comes in, he's going to be more prone to Western ideas and Western thinking. Therefore, we're going to have better relationship. And in fact, I mean, if you look at least we now have our two nations have met and said hello, which is kind of a big deal considering the decades long Cold War that we've been at, since the Korean War. So there's pros to that. But however, it turned out that you know he is not exactly what we had hoped for in becoming a younger, more proactive, progressive thinker for North Korea. In fact, he was in many ways increasing the conflict that we have out there, expediting that conflict, as you know, all before this COVID stuff was occurring. Before all that, we had the possible nukes going off at Hawaii that could have been shot down by us or could have just went out into the ocean. If you remember back to that story months ago, and if we look at the escalation building up, even after we tried to make good relations with North Korea, there is definitely, I don't know, a disconnect. Let's put it that way, a disconnect that we have with them. So we'll find out and see what's going on, what's to come with this as it progresses. I did want to just get it out there so everyone who's following this podcast can know. And if you have any thoughts, just let me know. Just, send a vlog or email johnstanleymedia@gmail.com. You can check out my NewsWeb media site. You can check out my Patreon. Look up John Stanley Media. $3 a month. We're going to do a lot more than this. We're going to go deep down in it, have some special guests, do things that are pretty important. So, and we have a big announcement to make of a possible hard hitting guest coming up on the show. So I don't want to talk about it yet because it's still in the works. So what I want to leave you with is, again, circling back to what I said initially. Don't like to do a lot of the always the breaking news because, again, we're inundated with breaking news everywhere. This is more of a reflection on the geopolitical, economic, macro trends and how they apply on the micro level. So we're going to look at that because it is a broad spectrum analysis, and we can get down into the nitty gritty of the specifics as well. But let me know what you think about all that's going on out there. It's definitely a wild time with everything that's going on geopolitically, with the COVID, with things heating up with relationships internationally. So we've got a lot to cover over the following days, weeks, and years to come. And I look forward to interfacing with you and hearing your opinions. So give me a shout out. Let me know what you think. And this is John Smansky for John Stanley Media signing off for right now. Take care.